So that's why I think
The delivery of the scheme.
Mr. Chairman, if we put in agreed plans and delivery, would that suffice?
yeah, it needs to be. I mean, ultimately, this will all, as I say, need to be agreed between the developer, Sedgmore, and the County Highways Authority. But I just think it needs to be explicit that it is a delivery of something on the ground.
Exactly what wording you want me to write down.
Would it be fair to say, should these planning applications be approved, and one will be delivered more or less at the same time as the other, would the controller of that be Sedgmore?
They will have, as I said, there will need to be a legal agreement in terms of trigger points as to when.
And that would be Sedgmore?
That would be between the County Highways Authority, the Planning Authority,
Yes.
and the developers to all have to sign off on to make sure they're all happy with it.
Can we reasonably, would it be five sales?
I think it would be probably safer if we said at an early stage, for example, because as I say, we're not parties to that legal agreement, but we can certainly highlight that's the sort of timescale. Because I think, as you said, it's just trying to avoid the danger that one part moves on ahead of the other. And there have been experiences elsewhere in the county where sometimes things have been problematic. So if it can be, if everybody signs up to it early, everybody knows what they're doing.
So can you just repeat what you just
repeat
said?
exactly what you want me to write down on this proposal. It's not a decision at this stage, it's a proposal.
That the parish council supports the planning application subject to the delivery of the agreed traffic light scheme at the A38 junction.
Which should start or commence at a...
To be delivered. To be delivered at an early stage, for example, by the fifth house being completed. And that leaves it open for them to negotiate to get it, but it's at that sort of period.
By no later, for example, by no later than completion of the fifth house.
So that's the proposal. Parish Council support the application subject to delivery of the agreed traffic light scheme at the A38 junction, delivered at an early stage by no later than the completion of the fifth house. Is that how you see it as a proposal?
At the moment,
Yes, at the moment it seems as though councillors have already accepted the decision to put lights there. But that's the way that reads at the moment, as if we've agreed for a solution to the problem there. Now some people in the village, myself included, consider that the present junction, although it is slow at certain times, it does mean that if you've got access into the village, it doesn't slow traffic on that highway. And people are fairly considerate when you're coming out of there and the traffic is moving very slowly, which is frequently back to the East roundabout at peak times. They will slow and let you out. So I don't see that we can decide that. We've pre-decided that we're going to make a solution there. We haven't had a vote on that.
no, we haven't.
It's a proposal. Colin's put a proposal on the table.
I put a proposal on the table. You can either vote for it or you can vote against it.
Or abstain.
Or abstain.
Can I make another proposal?
Yes, please.
That in the absence of affordable housing offer and a lack of clarification in terms of what community benefit could be provided, that we object to the application.
Can you say that slow? I'm pretty quick, but not that quick. Proposal that we object.
The absence of an affordable housing offer
Absence.
and the lack of clarification in terms of what community benefits could be provided, that we object to the application at this stage.
We have two proposals.
Could you just repeat what Peter's just said, please?
The proposal rejected. In the absence of affordable housing and other community benefit provided, we reject this application.
Well, with respect, those are not legitimate planning application rejections. Yeah.
So I mean, if we even consider a proposal, we have a right to vote on it.
Right then, I'll withdraw that and I'll just say I object to the application.
So can we just have can somebody,
It's on Colin's proposal. We need to take a vote on Colin's proposal.
can,
Just for clarity, I think, Chairman, you raised something about a traffic management plan.
yes,
Can you
Is
add
that,
that to it?
I think that was to be part of the proposal.
Can you just clarify?
If
Yes.
Colin should-
during the construction phase,
During construction, yeah,
traffic entering the site,
entering site,
the
Let them just fucking do it anyway.
will be to the access and egress. Access and egress.
so we've got it. Yeah, okay.
Can we, though it's Colin's proposal, would it be acceptable for Owen to read it out on your behalf, Colin?
Yes, sure.
You happy with that?
So the proposal from Colin is the parish council support the application subject to the delivery of agreed traffic light scheme on the A38 junction, delivered at an early stage by no later than the fifth house being completed. During construction, traffic entry site will be from the A38 and egress to the A38. That's the proposal. Does that cover everything that you want to cover in that proposal?
No. What bit?
Sorry.
No, but what bit?
Sorry.
You're asking the highways whether it's suitable to start with, not saying you accept it.
No, but that is a proposal for the councils, not for the...
But don't the parish council accept the views of the parish? Isn't that what you're for? Isn't that what you're here for?
Yes,
To
but
accept the views
unfortunately,
of
we're
the
not in an open
people?
debate at this stage. We've listened to you.
You're supposed to represent us,
Yes, exactly.
regardless of all the rules.
And at the end of the day, objecting to plans on no affordable housing is a valid. This is actually outside the Bank Build plan, and it's a P4E development. It's nothing to do, and it's actually about the benefit the development brings to the village. It's not about the, and also, I will actually raise a point that you made in the discussion, that you actually said that you would...
No, we're not debating this with the...
We can't get into debate on this.
Well, bring your point up and put that into the proposal, Mr. Chairman.
You've had your say, it's up to us now.
Can we go back to this proposal from Collins, please, and start again? And then come to a vote. So can you repeat it again? Sorry.
Okay. The parish council support the application subject to the delivery of agreed traffic light scheme on the A38 junction, delivered at an early stage by no later than completion of the fifth house. During construction, traffic entering the site will be from A38 and egress to the A38. So that's the proposal that is in front of us.
So all those, can I have a vote of those?
So when you do that, can you please make it clear? I don't want to get this wrong, okay?
Those in favour, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those against? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Any abstentions? So that's not.
So
it's 5 each.
So it's 5 each. As the chairman, of course,
I've already voted.
you have an additional casting vote if there isn't a
So it's 6-5.
6-5. Under our standing orders, the chairman is actually allowed a casting vote should the vote be equal in any vote taken by the parish council. So in fact that is a 6-5 vote in favour of the proposal. Now, is everybody happy with that?
No. No.
Council.
When this proposal is submitted to Sedgemoor, are they told of the number of votes for or against?
No, it'll be
It'll
either
be submitted on majority.
or unanimous.
So there'll be a majority, it's either unanimous majority, they're the two options really.
Somebody fetch Andrew, yeah?
Mr Chairman, I'd just like to say really that someone had to propose something. And, you know, we had a good debate and we had a good vote, albeit very close. But, you know, we could not have continued discussing this ad nauseum. It had to be put to a decision and people could say yes or no.
Also, on Malcolm's point, it is the decision of the council. So whatever the majority is, once the council decided, that's what goes to Sedgemoor, and that's the decision. The other thing is it was raised from the public as to why hadn't we addressed the issue about the county making their comments. We have specifically done that in the sense that we're talking about having to have had an agreed plan. It's the county who have to agree that that plan is okay, and if they don't agree it, then the whole thing stops anyway. So there will be that backstop in terms of county highways assessing the highway stuff.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'll go and stand in the cold for a while.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for that. Can we,
Can I just say, we must guard against the public chipping in.
I know it was, but it was,
abandon the meeting.
I know, but it was getting,
Yeah.
it's easier.
Sorry. Yeah.
I'm going to leave. Can you just basically chair the meeting for Pink Time Cottage?
Cottage.
I'm reliably informed that the colour is pink time.
Wonderful.
Look in your botanicals. I'll come back for the other three.
You frozen?
Eh?
Are you frozen?
I've got a vagrant around and suddenly bench because I hovered around so much I thought they were going to come on, move along.
I'm sitting on the loo then.
No, they were all in, they're doing worse, that's not in next door so they can all see. Sorry, I thought that.
Where's the front page gone?
Yeah.
It's very similar to
But I
before.
know this one, I think we've had it once before.
Yes, we have, isn't it?
And it's not very well, I find this plan really
It's quite a difficult one, this one actually, because it doesn't
all open.
tell us a great deal, I don't think, over the previous.
No, it has bad plans before when we couldn't read them.
These three buildings are exactly the same place as they were in the
Yeah.
first application.
Well, the additional is now having a stable. Yes, the stable's been built there. Sorry, I haven't got the front page, I can't really.
So this, it says,
Erection of carport and a shed.
we're talking about the Pink Cottage on...
Pink Time Cottage.
Yeah, well, that's
Right.
we refused
the
it.
stable, is it?
We refused it last time on the grounds, and I would say that we refused it on the grounds of design and detail, because
Detail,
we had
exactly, the detail.
poor detail. But if we look at this, it is for a carport, an agricultural style shed and stables, and it's
Design.
It's
Upside down.
little less,
Upside
because
down.
I've got here a carport and a shed.
well,
And
we've got
now it's got stables in it.
we've got one building here.
It's a bit of a pig's ear.
This is the proposed building.
Turn these around, these PDF files.
Oh.
Because we're upside down at the moment.
Yeah. Well, lie down.
So we're looking view, let's see whether we go.
Rotate view,
Rotate.
top one.
Rotate view, oh, there we go, that's it.
Make sure you rotate it to the right.
Ah, magic.
And
Yeah.
you can take it down from 100%,
I
because
think-
it'll be easier. Take it to 75.
The drawing that I'd like to look at, Owen, if you can call it up,
Yeah.
is,
Well, it's a mess.
have we got 026/2006 drawing 05? Yeah, that,
We've got,
no, that's the plan of what they're going
no,
to do.
I've only been able to pull down.
We've got the proposed site, yeah?
Proposed site down there.
Can we have a look at the proposed site plan?
Let them eat it.
Which is what you've got now.
Okay, can we turn it round?
Road we can, all right. View.
Should be like that.
Yeah, fine.
Fellow councillors, this isn't really,
Oh, that's better. I see that.
this isn't really very clear because there's lots of lines. The lines don't resemble buildings
Also, the
because
writing is very...
this is garden, this
Yes,
is
that's
garden,
There's
that is Burton
Yeah,
Road
yeah.
there,
Oh.
right across the top, okay?
Yeah.
That's Burton Road. This is the pink house and behind it is the patio area. That is a carport. I'm not quite sure.
There's a stable.
Agricultural shed.
Yeah.
Is that what it says?
Yes.
Well, they have all they're applying for is,
Well, on here, it says a carport and a shed.
but we don't have, we've got the drawing of,
The stables as well.
I wonder if that's the carport. Yes, that is the carport. Okay.
Yeah.
They put two drawings on each. So this is the
Or
carport.
the
Up at the top.
Which is going
Next door's the
there.
entrance. The entrance is just in front.
The agricultural building is going at the rear of the property. So the only thing against on the side of the road,
But I thought there were stables there.
Yeah, the
there, there, they haven't. It's not and stables. Well,
And stables,
we
yes.
have no
No,
drawing on stables.
well, I haven't got anything. What I've got.
What does
That
say,
is the
John?
stables floor plan.
Ah, right, thank you. So the stables are going there, there. The carport, which is
Up on the top.
this, is going there, and the,
Agricultural building.
well, that says stable elevations.
How high is the stable? Because you don't want to block out the sight of the clock.
The clock
in the
on
end
the
of that.
side of the house.
In all, to be honest, I can't see any planning reason why we
The only
should.
thing with stables is the drainage.
Is it going to be, is it going to be a
Because there's
stable?
drainage.
Because if it's a stable, there's muck.
Yeah, then it goes into the, you don't want it going in the
Right.
rivers.
Yes, they've got to do something about that.
Yeah.
Mm.
They do have
Well,
to.
yes, that has to be
We can't
addressed.
say
Yes,
about
it's always a problem.
That's environmental.
So basically, they've got to come back again and show us if they haven't shown the drainage, and I haven't got any.
Well, they've got to show where the muck is going to be.
Yeah.
Well, there are certainly no drawings of
It
stables.
says, we have received amended plans and the proposal description has changed, that's on the letter. And because they've included this.
But I think we should object.
Oh, yeah,
I
they
think
should
you
have
should go
a...
back and say.
Go back
have
again.
Insufficient
And look at the environmental health
information.
implications of stables, drainage and
Solid. Solid.
solids. Yeah, solids and solids.
Because it is on an access to
Or she's doers.
Sorry.
Upwards of this.
Can I just
Not allowed.
clarify this? We're objecting to this application. What is the proposal is that we're objecting to this application? Is it?
It's on the grounds of environmental health.
There's no
But
environment.
there is no provision, or no apparent provision
The drainage.
for
Effluent.
stable waste.
Equine waste.
Equine waste.
Spell equine.
Equine. Very good.
Awesome.
You're a school teacher.
Is that,
Okay.
Capital
Is
E.
that a proposal? Is that a... Is it a vote?
Yes, I think so.
Vote for that.
Yes.
That's not valid.
And if
No,
it's passed, then
no,
back.
I'm sorry, but-
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that is not a valid
No, no.
planning
No, it's not.
a point to defeat. I remind you, I gave you all, or the chair.
There are some here. There are some here if you want to look at them. Just hand back at the end there.
Yeah.
We have,
Right.
We haven't got sufficient
Well, what about
information about what is happening to them.
you have carport shown, you have an agricultural shed shown, and you have some stables. Okay, they've given you a site layout and they've given you the proposed structure of them. They look as if they're going to be made of wood, which is in keeping with the environment. So as a design and layout, you can't object to them on that. Highways, there's no objection. There's no impact on the character or landscape or visibility. Materials, well, they're building on the site. There's no material considerations in terms of impact on species. And there's no overlooking loss of privacy. There could be odour from the stables, but I would have thought that would be minimum. I don't see any reasonable, bona fide reasons to object to this.
Right, okay, but what about, do you not mention or ask a question about
Environmental side.
the waste from the stations, if it goes into the watercourse?
The trouble is,
If we can't object, there is
the
no
problem is
point.
if you actually put almost a proviso on your recommendation,
Yes,
you're actually in a sense saying, well, actually we don't support it.
yes, right.
If you're saying we support it, but
Well, I'm just
you,
saying that...
you either support it or you don't support it, basically,
Right, okay.
or you decide to go with observations.
We've raised objections to planning applications where they've had a swimming pool and the water has been discharged, and we've objected on those grounds, and also for things going into reams, we've objected. So I'm sure if there's no provision for any control, then that's
We objected also, we objected to the part that somebody had an idea of having a brewery down at the bottom of,
Yeah,
But
that's to do with
because of
waste.
smell, odour and discharge of effluent.
Can I just tell you, there is one, if you look at your sheets here, under residential amenity, overlooking a loss of privacy, odour is one of the reasons why you can object on.
Well, we wouldn't be able to, I think, on odour with the horses.
I'm just saying that is on the list of...
You're right, so we can't say anything.
It's the countryside, isn't it?
Well, I'm surprised that one can't make an observation on possible problems with drainage.
But the relevant departments look at that anyway, get sent to,
Well, then
That's what it does,
get
yeah.
sent to drainage and environmental.
So, what is your proposal? Just to sum up, it's basically there is no impact on the character of the site. Yeah, that was the one thing I wrote down. And there was no overlooking issues that could be identified. Are they the two key issues that you're proposing?
I also think that the buildings are in character of the building and the site and what they actually want to do on the site.
We'll make a proposal to that effect.
I've got what you've just said.
Have you got the points?
Yeah, I've got the points. It basically impacts the character of the site, no overlooking, and buildings are in character with the general development of the site.
Yeah, I would propose.
Is that your proposal?
Yes.
Now, do we have a vote on that? Everybody?
This
Unanimous?
is 4, yeah?
Yeah, 4, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, no, there's another one now.
We
No, we can get
Richard
Richard in now.
Can I have the sheet? I'll keep them because it's stopping getting a lot lost.
Oh, sorry, I gave you planning.
Well, don't worry.
Oh, thank you.
And you.
They're doing,
Another application.
awareness is.
Two more.
I've got bicycles on, nice.
Right.
Well, I don't know whether they'd like to see this or if they've
I
seen
wasn't
it.
going to couple Bob
No,
on the ground.
Which one are we doing now, Cynthia?
they're doing white,
Right, white thorns.
yes, white thorns, yeah.
Which is
Treble.
treble.
17, yes, it's treble
Opposite
5,
Single story.
Just across there.
okay.
Remind me, is that the one that's already been submitted about 3 years ago?
No, it's James, 74 Brent Street.
No, no, no,
It's the house next door.
actually,
This is 74 Brent Street.
Next door.
This is 74.
No, this is white thorns.
Next door is the one.
so where is the other one?
The next one.
0005. It's
No,
not
no.
15.
It's not 15, Cynthia,
It's
it's
not
5.
15, it's 5.
Treble 05.
Well, this is Brayfields.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Margaret Hall's old house.
So 74 Brent Street is what we're doing.
No, not.
Oh,
Doing
no,
white
no,
thorns.
no.
117.
Can you tell us which one we're talking about?
We're
please?
talking
This
about.
one here is white thorns. 117 Brent Street.
That's this one. We missed out, wasn't
We missed out one on the agenda.
Yeah, well, I did ask which one we're going to
We
do
should be, we
next.
should be doing
74.
74
We'll
Brent Street.
do that then.
Here we are.
We'll do another one instead. We'll go there instead.
74 Brent Street.
Where are they? Oh, I've got there now.
There's a picture of them
Yeah.
soon.
Double check.
Not in focus.
74 Brent Street, another corner of Manor Ride.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Just on, no, almost on the corner.
Which is front, which is back?
Hold on. Let's just rotate it around a bit.
Is this the one that's done?
Who's it
Well,
made on behalf of? What's the name of the
Yeah.
applicant?
Atkinson.
Hello,
Oh,
what's
wait a minute, sorry.
I don't know what's happened.
0002.
No, I've got
We've got mixed up with the, that was over there, here we are.
4 O's.
As opposed to 4 fours.
Okay, it's Mr Atkinson.
No. Greenfield.
No,
No, it's
Sorry,
74 Brent Street.
Right.
Right, sorry.
That's the one that's
Oh,
opposite the right.
There we are,
They did a lot of work there a few years ago.
here we are, there's the plans here.
Is that in Brent Street?
It is in Brent Street.
But
it
where is Brent Street
Yeah, that's
looking at that?
74 Brent Street, it's right.
I don't know, so where is Brent Street when we look at that? Which is front, which is back?
This is,
That's front, sure.
no, that's
No.
front,
But
where you are.
Their sitting room is right at the front of them.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
there, Brent
Yeah.
Street's down there.
Right, okay. Yeah, down here.
There's the garage that they
Brent
had
Street
put
is
on.
where down on this side. Yep, got it.
Okay. So the proposal is to
Erection of a single-storey extensions to rear, northeast, front, southwest and
That's
side,
that one.
southeast. Elevation to include garage on site of existing.
And
To
study.
be demolished, and it's from Mr
That's the
G.
guy that's
Atkins.
just developed that, isn't it?
So isn't the black wines that the ones?
We had a look at the
Yeah.
other.
I think it's an overdevelopment. We
Well, I must admit, it's very close to it.
criticised the first extension as being an overdevelopment, and it got through. And it's very tight, that
Very.
lot.
And look,
And well,
Is that a valid grounds for planning to say
Well, we looked at it
overdevelopment?
and it has got a space, but it's not very much.
because he's developing. So Brent Street is down on the left hand
This
side.
is
isn't
it,
it?
does that?
So he's developing the area away from
The back.
Well, he's
the
got,
neighbour. He's developing it up against the next door property.
That's right.
He's making
That's right, that's
available
good plan, that's
in
good plan.
front.
That's something you should see, and if they've got it.
Does see that?
One thing I do think is, when they did this alteration, they left or they might have rebuilt it, but they left the old garage where it was, and it looked totally and utterly wrong. So I would agree that the new garage looks right.
Yes.
I know it's got the study at the side, but I would
Yes.
agree with that.
Well,
It
we
looks
looked at that.
totally wrong
Yes.
having this tiny little
Oh, yeah.
garage.
Could we not bung that up?
Right, let's have a look, see what
Site location plan.
site note.
And they bought a new piece, don't forget they
Proposed
bought a new
site
piece of
plan.
ground.
That's it.
Don't forget they bought a piece of garden, so they've got a bigger garden at
Do
the
they?
back now.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Look, you can
Oh, I
see.
see, right.
So it doesn't look wrong on the map.
There's the new bit.
And then you,
Okay.
the bit on the back
Yes,
and the bit on the
they
front.
brought that from the neighbour next
Yes.
door.
Oh, okay, then I'll
So,
rest
I
my
think
case.
one of
Are you
the
happy with that?
things
Colin?
which we
Yeah.
So,
put
can,
out on the
so
board.
do we have any objections to this one?
Has anybody,
Well, there was-
has anybody objected on
No,
that?
no, I've got no objections online.
Right, so what is your decision?
On the
Proposal?
proposal, no observations.
Your observations? Right, no observations, one proposal.
I would second that.
Yeah, all in favour? Thank you.
Okay.
Next one is very close.
Now we can go to number 15.
Right,
Oh, yeah,
right.
this
Is
is
it 15?
this is how-
It's 05.
It's 05, that's what confused me.
My type,
Right
I'm
next
afraid.
door to Francis James's field. You want to know where it's from? Yeah.
What is it?
Oh, that one.
What's going to happen to the,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No.
This is for erection of a single-storey rear extension and erection of single-storey garage. Garage extensions and construction of new pitched roof over existing garage. Erection of front porch and construction of pitched roof over existing bay window. Widening of existing vehicular entrance. There was a letter online supporting it, the people who live opposite,
Right.
saying they had no objection as his neighbour.
the letter of...
Oh, no, was it Stuart?
From the archaeological people.
Well,
I would propose that we support this application on the grounds that it is an enhancement of an and probably it will make it a nicer looking building and a more modern building.
mm.
I agree with that. I would second that.
And all the
And also-
materials on there are going to
Yes.
match
Yeah.
existing, so.
So supporting the grounds of improvement.
Of an existing building.
Did you not know to know the flood risk assessment? Right, okay.
As long as it has
So the
been
property is there at the moment.
And I think bearing in mind that have we got personal knowledge around the table of any issues of flooding?
Well, hang
No,
on.
it just says that the floor level of the garage extension will be the same floor level as the existing garage and the extension will incorporate the following flood resilience measures, fixed and mobile electrical assets, etc., flood resistance materials, construction of internal and external fabric up to a level of 600 millimetres above internal floor level. So they are doing preventative measures, put it like that. So
50
that's-
yards away is the new ditch.
well,
Can I just read what I've written here? Support on the grounds of improvement of existing building and in keeping with the street scene.
yes,
Yeah.
I think that's quite
So does that
actually.
measure what you're
Yeah.
trying to say?
All those in favour? Thank you.
Number 4.
Yes.
We've then got something
Then we come
on
to number 4.
No, we don't.
local, can we have Bob back in?
Yeah, Bob, please.
Bob, get him back in the fold.
Keep letting there in.
Local plan submission.
In the folder that I've given to Andrew there, there's a very thick document called the local plan. It's the actual revised document, which you've got it there, Andrew. It's quite a thick document. It gives the whole of the Sedgemoor area, and obviously specifically it's got bits about Brent Knoll and bits about Brent there. But it's a thick document, and you may care to read it at your leisure.
Yes.
And it's got all sorts of stuff in there about your diagrams and where they're going to build, where they're not going to build, and the background to all of it. So it's all in there. So it's up to you to.
I think we circulated on that as a PDF.
Not in that format, didn't, but it certainly there was something went to you, I think, wasn't there? I seem to recall. But do read it, and
Just those there ready for.
I don't know whether you want to make any observations at a future meeting on the content of it, but that's up to you.
We'll see on reading.
Can we move on then, please, ladies and gents?
Reports on footpaths, Peter.
Yeah, we got a bit, I had a phone call yesterday about a tree that came down in Mrs. Berry's field.
Oh, yes, I saw it.
I went and had a look at it, it is a big tree. It belongs to the Sandys. I saw Sandys and managed to get hold of Christine, who said that she would have a look at it. I went there today and she and her partner were sorting out merrily, but they been refused entry with heavy vehicles because the field is wet, which you can understand. I mean, there's a mumble here somewhere. Mrs. Berry and David, they're elderly people, and he doesn't want to go out and do that field, but I explained to Christine what it was all about, and she said that she doesn't blame the woman for not wanting the tractors in there, but she asked that we contact David, who works for her, and ask him if he's available with us, or initially if he could contact Christine. She wants him to go into her field and drag the tree back into her field.
Oh,
But the tree is 2 to 3 foot in girth at the bottom. But it's down across the footpath, right across the bridge. And I thought that the footpath should be closed. I didn't know what to do about it, so I spoke to the chairman and the clerk, who said that they were dealing with it. But since then I've discovered a leaflet here saying if you've got a problem with anything on the footpath, dial this number. I don't suspect there'll be anybody there now. But if it's any help, yeah.
Is that a contact at Sedgemoor, Peter?
It's all county is yeah.
Well, it is dangerous actually, because it could fall.
Well, the thing is, there's enough room for somebody to go crawling under it. And you get your
I
boots.
went under it.
Did you?
Well, I did go up.
I thought it was within their right mind.
It's quite high up.
I know, but
You're right.
if it falls, it's only resting on one limb.
Well,
Footpath AX87, isn't it?
Yes.
So I just need to report back where the tree over.
It's blown down
Yeah.
in the recent wind. The owner has taken some action, but it's going to take...
Yeah, the owner of the tree, it's not on her property, it's on someone else's property.
But she's going to take... She's prepared to do something.
Yes, she's out down there, they're actually down there cutting it up. The thing is, it's lying along adjacent to the ditch. If it falls in the ditch, it'll clog the green up. But they wanted over to David. She's hoping that David would speak with her.
Can we leave that to you to talk to?
So action being taken by.
She says tomorrow she'll only be there between 10 and 2.
So action being taken
Do we need
by.
to contact these people?
Well, I think we can hold fire a minute, but I don't know what we do about telling people that if it collapses on someone, we'll be held responsible.
Well, if some,
That's fine, it wasn't there yesterday.
We have no mechanism for putting signs up, that's a trouble, do we?
No.
It's enormous.
Well, if we
couldn't
put
drag
a
it.
sign up, we'll have to
You
have
can't
their
drag
name on it.
What do you need to
I
live
suggest we just notify county, so at least they are
Don't
aware
have
of
it,
it,
yes.
but we can tell them that things are in train, but at least they're aware, and they want to put a temporary sign up, they can then deal with that.
Thank you for that, Bob.
Notify highways.
No.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay.
Anything else?
highways, is it?
No, we're not. We're
Still on footpath.
Oh, you can't.
I'm still waiting for an Oxford gate. Somebody rattled the door on Tuesday and delivered me a Stratford gate. They said, I phoned, I said, I don't need that, I need an Oxford gate. And the man said, well, I've been told, oh, deliver this one here. So I said, fine, leave it there, I'll contact Chris East. I spoke to Chris East. He said, I haven't got an Oxford gate, but Owen specifically asked for a Stratford gate. I said, well, I don't know what it's for. But I said, I can find a home for it.
I can't remember, I have to look back through my emails.
Well,
It was a long time ago,
he
actually.
sent us one.
So it's the wrong gate anyway, whatever happens. It's
So I did have a problem. Mrs. Brayfield, who has just put a plan in, said that she and Ian Breed had trouble getting over the stile in the hedge behind Francis James, and I suggested they'd try getting over one at a time, and maybe that would help.
So what would you suggest we do? We approach Chris again?
No, I've spoken with him, he said we've still got an Oxford Gate coming.
Right.
But if I can have the council's agreement that we can get that when we decide, or if we decide later on getting heritage landscapes area, if I could take him and show him that one and he give us a quote on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was anyone in agreement with that? I've had similar comments made to me about that particular style behind Francis James's as you turn left to go back towards. It's quite high, it's very narrow, and it's very difficult for anyone to get over. So if we can get
It's usually very muddy.
Oh, you mean that muddy bit?
Yes.
Oh, that's awful.
Anything else, Peter?
I'm not aware.
Do you want to go to this? We've got this quote from Richard Cadugan.
Right, you're going to do that now?
Well, it's obviously under footpaths, isn't it? He's got here Hang Bristol Gate, actually. Is that a different
That's,
type?
yeah, I said Oxford, I meant Bristol.
Oh, right. So we're talking about Bristol. We're talking about Bristol Gate. I was very confused because I made notes to ask for an Oxford Gate.
No, Bristol, sorry. But you said it was one coming.
Right.
He hasn't got any of this.
If I just say the cost to install, including labour and materials, is £175. If required, collection from SCC for £52. So you're prepared to collect it if we wanted to. But the cost of doing the job is £175.
Do we need to make a separate proposal, I think, on that?
I think, yeah, you need to agree on, I think, each one of these, because they're all in different locations.
I think we ought to defer that one because we don't know when it's going to. I mean, we can't even send him up to Glastonbury to get the gate because it's not there.
Right.
So can we defer it to the next meeting?
Why can't we just agree it and it sits there until such time as again, and then you can just go and do it?
Yeah, but we should tell him that they'll hang fire until such times as we've got to get him.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go back to him. We're just looking to get an agreement from the council.
Okay, sorry.
So can we have a show of hands on agreeing that one, please? Thank you. And the next item on this, we might as well deal all of these, or should we defer them to the
We might as well do all of them, aren't we, really? Yeah. You've got chain link behind the village hall, fencing behind the village hall.
Yeah.
Required to remove the existing low and badly damaged chain link fencing and install a run of 8-foot high chain links to match existing fence. This will require the breaking out of the old concrete posts, subsequent disposal, installing 2 new end posts, 2 intermediate posts, and a run of 8-foot high chain link fencing. All posts will be concreted in position, and new chain link will be matching existing. Cost of £660 for fencing, materials, and labour £365. So a total of just over £1,000.
Include that?
He's not valuable anyway.
No, I guess not.
He
He says that also that the chain link fence, you'll have to buy twice as much as he needs. So we'll end up with half a roll of fencing.
He says it's a 2-man team here, and his labour estimation.
It'll be the same height as the other fence.
And it'll fill that gap in it.
Yeah.
So can we accept that, or do we?
Do we need to get other quotes?
Alternatives.
We haven't done
Well, it's certainly been
We're
improved.
supposed to get a request.
Well-
Is there a figure?
On anything of this size, you really ought to be
Yeah,
getting
we should.
another quotation.
Yes.
That's a question of who would get it from, I guess. Ian Morgan is one.
Mr Chairman, can I just ask about the breakdown of the costs again? For that?
660 for the fencing materials and 365 for the labour. 2-man job.
Well, 365 for how many men?
2.
2?
Related to about 50.
I would have thought, yeah. I would have thought that's well within line, but
I mean, we've got other people. We've got people like what's his name, Durston. We've got Ian Morgan.
I don't think Durston will get around to it.
No, I think he probably won't actually. Ian Durston is probably not the right man anyway, I think, because he's so busy now and he's not actually doing the construction side of things. He's doing the office.
So can we, do you want to proceed that and
breaking out of the old concrete posts and installing new end posts, 2 intermediate posts and another. I mean, there's quite an amount of work there.
Bob?
I think the comment said it doesn't sound like an unreasonable quote, but the fact is, for £1,000, we ought to be at least having
We have a standing order that says,
Okay.
Well, under financial regulation.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, it's Peter's.
Oh, I've got it. So I've got it.
Sorry.
Shall we ask Ian, should we ask Ian Morgan to come and look at the same job?
but he needs to price like for like.
Yeah.
So, okay, Ian Morgan.
And then the final item is the fencing to the left-hand side as you go in.
Yeah, that's a relatively straightforward job of reattaching the straining wire to the straining rollers and tensioning. Straining wire will be reattached using wire gripples.
What about the right-hand side? Because do that as well.
He said it's impossible to do. It's not a straight line, and also the fence is in such a poor condition that he would never be able to put it up.
But we've also got something to ask Jason to do on that one as well, on the left.
Well, he's got to go. He's got to get the saplings out.
Saplings.
£48,
£48 it is on the left hand side.
But I had noticed when I did the green inspection that the wood panelling against the left-hand side of the landowners there has been affected by the wind and is wobbling all over the place. So are we happy to go with the £48 per year?
Yes.
Yes, thank
But
you.
are we going to ask him, obviously, what we've got to remember, if we're going to ask another quote for the other job, he's not going to come down and do that job for £48, I would imagine. So do we need to wait until we've got the other quotes first before we decide to give him the go-ahead?
Yeah, that's it.
I think
And
so.
And what about the right-hand side of the green? Because that was also being included.
We can't do it.
You just said you can't do it.
Oh, the right-hand side.
The right.
I mean, they're both in a bad state.
The fence at East Ryde,
Low fence at the end of East Ride, adjacent to the ditch, requires the top timber rail replacing for its entire length of 20 metres. The timber rail to be used will be tantalised. There's tantalised there, it should be tantalised. And the dimensions, all fittings will be galvanised. Materials are labelled 195.
I was wondering as to whether that was in our remit. I mean, it's surely is it county?
More or less highways.
Yeah. But having said that,
You try and
trying to
do
right
that.
over that for the amount of money we ask.
It doesn't do much there, because it's actually sort of bordering on my ground, but it's not on my ground, because it's across quite a wide green. Doesn't really affect my ground, and there is a pavement there, isn't there, David? So it doesn't do anything.
much. Bob, you originally raised it, was it you that raised it?
Yeah, I mean, I have certainly residents from East Ryde who brought it to my attention that it had deteriorated over the years. We did actually have County Highway to look at it, and they said not their fence. So they thought it would either been done by the developers originally or by the parish council.
I think you're right there.
I propose that we do it.
So that price.
Okay. But again, we add that to the other jobs. Presumably you'll want to come do the whole lot at once, will you?
You can do those 3 and 4, yeah.
Yeah,
You
you
can't
do
do
that
the
3 and
first
4,
one,
you do
because it's-
Yeah.
Mr Chairman, can I just ask that Owen just explain to Heritage that on item 2, because it is of that value, we do need
We have to go for
we
an
have to
alternative
go,
timber.
and
Yeah.
so that he won't be too
Yeah.
disappointed.
No, no.
I mean, he may come and say, well, okay, I'll reduce my price, but, you know, I don't know.
Okay, so that's fine. So I've got notes of those. I'll give him okay on 3 and 4.
And can you also say,
And 1. 1, 3 and 4.
yeah, the fact that we haven't got that gate yet, but also can you tell him that we'd like him to quote on for the gate behind Francis James, which is,
What sort of gate are we talking about here?
we're talking about this strap.
Quote
The
for
one that
Stratford
is saying
gate.
nobody knows about.
Which we've already had.
We've actually got the gate
Yeah.
Stratford gate already in stock.
to replace it. So the work required, Peter,
Chairman,
Install.
I'm completely confused about what's the difference between Stratfords and Bristols. So, what's rephrase that? I'm confused about Stratford gates and Bristol gates. Is a Stratford gate a kissing gate?
Stratford gate with a kissing gate in it.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
just say that again.
That one's got bristles in it.
Stratford gate is a kissing gate.
Yes.
Which is the kissing gate?
Stratford.
Stratford.
Think of Shakespeare and you'll remember kissing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So we've already got one.
Bristol's is 2.
What's an Oxford?
Yeah, you get 2 for Bristol's, and that's the one for Stratford.
Not necessarily.
All right.
Anything else on footpaths?
No, thank you.
Can I just clarify, the work on the Knoll footpath is now all completed, isn't it? All the
Yes.
handrails,
Yeah.
it's all done.
Yeah,
yeah?
that's brilliant. Yeah.
Okay. fine.
Highway reports, Malcolm.
No, nothing to report to me.
We've had lovely smooth surface put down outside the Methodist Church and through to past Ivy, we've had board and white lines, but then they stop before they get to the bend.
Yeah,
And I wonder if they're going to continue.
Now, we had some yellow lines, didn't
No,
we?
white lines, because you brought this
No,
up,
white,
Peter. White lines up on either side of Hill Lane.
Yeah.
Might be one of them.
Before we had that resurfacing work,
There was some-
there were yellow lines
Yes, there were.
trying to slow the traffic up on
They
that
were
bend,
badly
and we were asking for those to be
Yeah.
replaced.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
So could we not, as part of this comment, ask for those to be applied,
Yeah,
please? Because they,
But Brian's on about the dots in the middle of the road.
The,
yes, as well as that,
interrupted lines in the middle of the
we
road.
need
Yeah,
a
but we
centre,
need that
centre
as
white
well.
line and the yellow
Yeah.
lines that were faded.
We also asked for a line.
Yes, yes, I
No,
agree.
they're not there,
Oh, on the,
on the main drag.
oh, on Main Drag. What about the ones which Peter brought up on either side of Hill Lane, which we never asked for?
Yeah, and we wanted lines put in Brent Street on the corner by Bodies Field, and they said no, they couldn't do it.
No, this is
Put
not,
them-
this is the, they were going across the
Oh,
carriageway, the slow, just as a
Yeah,
warning that we
exactly.
had there, and they had faded.
They had.
Yeah, I understand that, but what I am saying also was that we asked for a straight white line to stop people parking
Okay.
close to Bodies Lane.
Yeah.
And they said we couldn't have one, and yet they put them all the way up through, from Brent Street up to Collins House on either side of the road, without us asking.
They probably got the wrong road.
No, it's just, if they can do that, why can't they put?
Well, I think it sounds like what we need is a clarification of line rules and regulations.
Yeah,
We don't seem to know it, do we?
yeah.
Well, no, they should have put a
There must
centre,
be-
they must be a centre line on the,
Yeah.
particularly because it's on the bend, on that
Yes.
curve.
Mr. Chairman, at the moment in time, the bend outside Bodies Lane is not marked.
Absolutely.
It should be marked anyway, I would have thought,
Absolutely.
with a dotted line in the middle indicating a hazard.
Yeah.
That's what a dotted line is supposed to do in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Failing that, if we can't get that, then I would suggest that we seek to get the hatching put back, because it really is a dangerous corner. And the minimum we want there is a dotted line in the middle.
I thought that was mandatory perspective.
I'm surprised they didn't put it back
I
there.
wonder if they run out of paint.
And they would have if they put white lines all the way up.
Yeah. Anything else on
That was probably
highways?
to freeze Morris.
Anything else on highways? There's a couple of issues I'd like to raise on highways, please.
Yeah.
Anything else on highways that anybody else has? We have an ongoing problem with Whit Lane, which is rapidly turning into the Somme. I know there is a promise that they will reinstate it to as it was before they started, but I have to say that some of the feedback I'm getting, the contractors are not being particularly friendly and user-friendly alongside the residents, and they are parking in some most awkward places, and when a lady went out to remonstrate, was greeted with voluble language in, we think, Polish or Russian. Don't speak English, but they were not very pleasant. They've done some work to reinstate Burton Row, where cracks developed as part of the thrust boring. Whether they are successful or not, I don't know, but the highways are fully aware of that and have agreed a management plan or an action plan with the contractor, I understand. Has anybody seen the resurfacing work on Station Road? Since it's been
Yes,
completed?
it's a lot better.
Have they put white lines on that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, they have.
And I know that they're supposed to be doing work on Crooked Lane as well. I don't know how that's going, associated with the solar farm, that's all.
There were some minor road works that I noticed today, which is obviously what they're doing now.
So I guess, Colin, the answer on Crooked Lane is still pending on weather.
Yeah, totally, yeah. Just going back to highways a minute, Mr Chairman, could I ask that Malcolm investigates Burton Row, Crooked Lane and Oak Lane before the next meeting, because he is responsible for highways, and comes back with a report to let us know what's going
See if
on.
we can have a definitive.
Yeah, and then we get a definitive answer. Could you
Well, the
do that?
understanding was before they commenced this work, I was supposed to be contacted and go out with them, but nobody contacted
Well,
me.
what happened was, I'll tell you exactly what happened. Gary Adams phoned me up, he's their local engineer, and said to me he didn't see any point in doing it because he'd looked at Crooked Lane and not Crooked Lane, Crooked Lane and Station Road. As far as he was concerned, all the problems that I had raised, none met the county standards for repair. So there was actually no point in looking at it, because he looked at it, he'd seen where the problems actually were, but they weren't prepared to do anything with it. In other words, they were all below the threshold for them to take any action. So that was the issue that he gave me on the telephone. That's why he didn't contact you. But whether that is the case and whether we need to go back to him again,
Yeah.
you probably need to tell me that.
Have you got the time to just go and have a nose round, please, before our next meeting? Because I think that would be useful just to see.
How far down Station Road? Over the bridge?
They did it either side of the bridge
To the first cottage.
for the first cottage, I think.
But I know there's a bit just by Crooked Lanes. I saw it earlier on today when I came down there. Just on as you're coming from Brent Corner on Crooked Lane there's a bad piece of road along the edge there. It's crumbling away quite badly actually. So that's one piece that I think something needs to be done with.
Okay.
Chairman, just
Sorry,
to mention, in terms of Crooked Lane, obviously they're doing the full road closure this month in March, whereas they've obviously been doing the work on Wick up until now. So there will be more works to go on Crooked Lane before they come back and do any of the...
Well, Wick Lane is on full closure as we speak, and it's getting into a real mess. Okay. Moving on to Village Green. I carried out the Village Green inspection on the 24th, which is last Thursday. Overall, I thought it was very good and certainly significantly better than the 12 months previous when I last looked at it and carrying out. And I think we owe Jason quite a vote of thanks because he has worked hard. We have gained at least 2 feet, if not more, all around the perimeters where he's cut all the gravel. And I think that's good. In terms of other issues, I know we've got plans in place to paint the roundabout and perhaps some of the other wood. But I also note the swing frame is showing signs of desperately needing painting. So we've got 2-tone rust and blue. The grass, I know we've also had from the inspection reports that grass has sunk around certain of the equipment, but I also noted it's sunk to the front of the mugger, and that is presenting a potential trip hazard in places, so that needs to be addressed by Jason as well, please.
Well, it's turf, isn't it?
Yeah, but it has sunk. Toilets were satisfactory, but I think, can we consider, John mentioned last time, I think about doing the floors. It might be beneficial to consider painting the ceilings, which are wood, just to make it a bit lighter rather than the drab dark it is, but it's only a suggestion. The most concerning thing I found was there was evidence of empty small gas canisters by the picnic bench near the bike racks, and they are nitrous oxide, which are legal highs at the moment. I think we ought to bring this to the attention of the PCSO. Can you write to
PCSO? Possibly the school?
I'm not sure whether school of the age, I don't know. I'm quite happy to speak to the headmaster, and I'll speak to the headmaster. I owe the conversation. There's no parish councillor details on the parish council notice board.
This one right here, well, I don't know.
No, there's one outside Caroline's shop.
It's probably blown away at some stage, I think, that one.
So